Well, FM friends, I think we finally did it. We found a tactic worth testing that's not a 4-2-3-1. Let's jump in and see how it goes. This one is called the 3-4-3-4-4-1-1 hybrid rotation. We're not going to get away from that 4-4-1-1. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be using that. But there is a nice write-up on the page I got this from, basically going over the hybrid rotation system with the ball, without the ball, the core principles, and the intended match behavior, which are high control and possession, fast central breakthroughs, safe defensive transitions, and consistent creation of high-quality chances. Now, we're going to get into it with our three teams of Manchester City and Crystal Palace in the Premier League and our championship side of Derby County in a holiday sim, so keep that in mind as we go through this. But with all that said, let's just dive into the Premier League and see what happened. Well, Premier League. Manchester City, I mean, you get third place, 79 goals, 71 points. Not bad, but we've definitely seen better. Crystal Palace in 17th spot, 34 points, 46 goals. That one hurts. Well, starting off, taking a look at Manchester City's fixtures, well, unfortunately, they lose out immediately to Salford in the EFL Cup. They get through some Champions League fixtures all the way down to Sporting, lose out 3-0 in penalties away from home, even though they won 3-0 at home. But FA Cup, 6-1 against Liverpool. That is the quarterfinals. That's a doozy. So all in all, definitely not the greatest of seasons for Man City. They get third place in the Premier League. That's about your best. And senior squad does not look like they've got a lot of green, unfortunately. But goals 25 is low for Haaland, 16 for Foden, assists 15 for Foden, Silva with 11, and average rating 7.24 for Erling Haaland. Switching it over to Crystal Palace, they do win the FA Community Shield 2-all in penalties over Liverpool. Very nicely done there. Unfortunately, FA Cup, they lose out immediately to Bristol Rovers 2-0. EFL Cup, they do get a couple of matches under their belt, but lose out to Newcastle 0-1. And then they get to the Europa League. Yeah, they lose out to Young Boys, unfortunately, 2-1 after a 1-all draw at home. This was definitely not a great season by Crystal Palace. Their one shining moment was getting the FA Community Shield, friendly cup or not. I will definitely take it. And I am not surprised they only have 2 in the green completely. But goals-wise, 17 for Sarr and Uche and Mateta apiece. Assists 13 for Pino, Uche with 11, and then average rating, well, you get 7.12 for Uche. Data Hub, Man City looking fantastic. 10 clean sheets is definitely nowhere near what we usually see. 1.5 conceded per game, 2.1 goals per game, though, is nice. 17 shots per game is pretty on the mark. 1.8 non-penalty XG. So overall, they did have some hiccups, but not a bad season. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, yeah, performing below an average level. Only 6 clean sheets, 1.6 XG against per game, 1.8 conceded per game. Their attacking side was not piss poor, but it wasn't great. 12 shots per game, 1.2 goals per game. Yeah, they definitely need to pick it up quite a bit. Premier League stats, they're not here. Most yellow cards, 64, is the only place in this full list that we actually have someone. But diving a little deeper into the stats themselves, average possession, you get Man City in 12th with 49%, Crystal Palace in 15th with 46. Points per game, Crystal Palace all the way down in 17th with 0.89, Man City in 3rd with 1.87. Attacking wise, Man City with second most goals, at least 79 to Liverpool's 92. Wow. Crystal Palace down in 14th with 46. Goals per game we kind of saw, but 2.08 for Man City in 2nd. Crystal Palace in 14th with 1.21. Shots for 673 for Man City in 2nd. Crystal Palace in 13th with 468. Shots on target, 295 to Man City. Crystal Palace moving up the table in 11th with 216. And then shots per game, 17.71 for Man City in 2nd. Crystal Palace in 13th with 12.32. Goals allowed. We get to the defending side. Man City in 14th with 58. Crystal Palace in 16th or 17th with 70. And then finally, when it comes to shutouts, we have Man City in 12th with 10, and then Crystal Palace in 18th with 6. But now I'm really hoping that Derby County could pick it up quite a bit. But unfortunately, they can't. 7th place, they miss out on the playoffs. 71 points, 86 goals is not bad, but yeah, 7th place is not great. Fixture-wise, well, they get through one EFL Cup against Stockport County. They get to the second against Grimsby Town and lose 0-3. They get all the way down to their first match in the FA Cup to Tranmere and lose in penalties. So yeah, no trophies, no playoffs, not the greatest. Kind of average. Well, I was going to say senior squad, they've got at least 3 in the green. Unfortunately, one of them is off on loan right now, so that doesn't really count. But 25 goals for Wyman, Brewster with 16, losing a little bit. 13 assists for Bobby Clark, Wyman with 10, as does Rian Brewster. And then average rating, Wyman with a 717. Data hub for Derby County, it does say they're performing to an average level in defending, attacking-wise, performing better than average. So that's not bad. 1.9 goals per game, 1.5 non-penalty XG, 14 shots, well, 15 shots, I'll give you that. 1.6 conceded. Now let me know if you want to see the specifics on the data hub for Derby County. I usually skip them lately just to make the videos shorter. They're kind of very similar to the Man City Crystal Palace kind of location. Defending in this, not the greatest. We'll get into that in a minute, but let's just dive into the tactic itself. As you can see, it is a, well, 3-3-4, I guess. So 3 on the back, you've got the 3 in the middle, and then the 4 up front. But let's take a look. We start out with a ball-playing goalkeeper. No change instructions. Out of possession, it is a wingback. I love how they changed that. That's so weird. But ball-playing center back, you could shoot less often and dribble less. Out of possession, oh, you do also have shorter passing strategy. Out of possession, you have a player, regular, trigger press more often, tackle harder. Then you come up to playmaking wingbacks with definitely a bunch of different changed instructions. Out of possession is just another player with tackle harder. I'm going to assume this one is fairly similar. I'm pretty much tackle harder as a player out of defense or out of possession. A defensive midfielder in possession, and then out of possession, a stopping center back. We've got 2 in the midfield. 1 is a midfield playmaker. Again, they did a lot of changes on these individual player instructions, so definitely keep that in mind. We have a central midfielder out in possession, and then out of possession, a covering center back. We have an inside forward on the left. Out of possession is a pressing central midfielder. We have a shadow striker in the center spot. Or sorry, a second striker. Out of possession, you've got a wide outlet winger. And then you've got a wide forward on the right. Out in possession, out of possession, a splitting outlet center forward. Wow, that's a mouthful. And then a center forward up front in possession, and out of possession, a holding fullback. Team instructions, you can take a look at all the instructions here, and then out of possession, there you go. So all in all, how did this one do for our 3 teams? I'm going to say for at least Derby County and Manchester City, it kind of was probably on the average mark. Crystal Palace really had some problems. Almost, I mean, just a point or 2 away from relegation. Not great. I think the problem here, defensively, it's letting in too much, and it's okay if you're supplementing that with the attack. Here, you're not really supplementing the attack with that well, or at least well enough to win you all these games. So Man City's got the fantastic squad. They can actually get those attacking points, get those goals in there. Crystal Palace has a couple of players up front, but all in all is having quite a bit of an issue. Derby County, Rian Brewster wasn't firing for some reason, and they don't have a lot of attacking depth. That kind of became a problem. 7th place is fine. It's mid-table-ish. It's actually higher than mid-table. But yeah, it's not really going to get you far ahead into the playoffs and things like that. But again, if you took control of this tactic with any of these teams, I'm sure you could do a much better job. But here, in this save, at least, it just didn't work all that well. But that's it for me, 7FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.